something different, y'all. No need to be ashamed to call on his name, because he remains the same. Our God, he reigns.
Why be ashamed to call his name? He remains the same because he reigns. Why be ashamed to call his name? He remains the same because he reigns. Why be ashamed to call his name? He remains the same, yeah. He remains the same because he reigns. Why be ashamed to call his name? He remains the same, he remains the same because he reigns.
Yo, listen here. Let me encourage you right here, right now. I don't care what you're going through, what situation you're in your life. Our God reigns on the just and the unjust. Listen, whatever you are, whatever you're going through, our God is still the same God. But I need to encourage you and tell you this. You got to be saved. You got to be whole. But you got to let him take control. Come on, J-Faith.
You got to be right. You got to be saved. You got to be whole. He will take control. You gotta be right. You gotta be saved. You gotta be whole. He will take control. Say, you got to be right. You got to be saved. You got to be saved. You gotta be whole. He will take control. He will take control. He'll take control. You got to be right. You gotta be saved. You gotta be whole. Yes, he will. I know he will take control.
My God lets me know in Matthew 28 and 18, I have been given all authority in heaven and earth. So that lets me know our God reigns on the just and the unjust. So y'all help me call his name. Jesus, you rain down. Jesus, you rain down. Jesus, come on, rain down. Forever. I'm feeling churchy, y'all. Jesus, you rain down on the just and the unjust. Jesus, rain down. Come on, let's call the spirit, y'all. Come on, Jay, right? Go.
Spirit, rain, spirit. You to reign, oh Spirit, you reign, Spirit, rest through everybody, yeah.
Help me on this one. See, yeah, rain down, yes, rain down, we need a yeah, rain down, come on, I tell you to just take time and see, yeah, rain down, we need a yes, we see rain. Yes, rain down. Yeah. Come on, Taylor.
Everybody say rain down. Say rain down. Oh, rain down. Send it down. Oh, rain down. We want your glory to rain down. We need your spirit to rain down. We need it. Send it down, rain, 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 rain. Oh, rain. Say rain down. Oh, Lord, we want you to rain down, yeah. Everybody sing and say, we need you to rain down. Send it down, oh, yeah, rain, rain.
Happy Monday, everybody. It's Monday, so you know what time it is. Let me make sure I'm not struggle streaming already, and it doesn't look like I am. Happy Monday. I'm glad you guys are here. You're watching it live or you're watching it later. Just happy you're here. But here's the thing about me. I absolutely love gospel music. How can you not love gospel music? After hearing what you just heard, how can you not love gospel music? I love that song. That's one of my favorite songs, actually. I play that song often, even, when I'm not doing any playing myself. And I actually want to focus on promoting gospel artists that maybe you do know or maybe you don't know. I do ask them before I post their video or their music. So if you are an artist and you want me to post your music, please let me know. I'll be happy to post your music. I will even be happy to critique it live for you if you want. But I don't have to critique The White Moment because he's a great artist, great songwriter. They have multiple albums. You need to check him out. His name is His name is The White Moment. Very good songwriter, very good artist. Their songs, if you like this one, you're going to like their music. Is the super dope music. I absolutely love it. And that's one of the reasons why I like gospel music. You just never know what you're going to get. That song takes you through so many ups and downs, and then it ends with something just have you. If you wasn't bobbing your head, then I don't know what to tell you. Pause, by the way. If you was not bobbing your head on that, I don't know what to tell you. Go back. If you wonder what I'm talking about, go back and watch what I started the show with. I am going to start promoting more gospel artists, especially indie artists that may not be able to afford a machine. I'm going to help them as best I can, post it here. Hopefully you guys will listen to it and then go to support their music. But anyway, I want to open that up because he's a great guy too. I actually reached out to him and he's very cool. He's okay with it. I wish you guys would allow people to promote your music. Some of you be like, nah, don't play your music. And then it goes to Apple Music and dies. So anyway, happy you guys are here. I'm going to start the show. Last month was Valentine's Day and I didn't do any Valentine's Day or relationship content on purpose. Every week at Powerhouse Chicago, they did a panel. And it was very interesting conversations. I stayed away from them. I didn't do any panels, not that I was asked because I wasn't. But I didn't say anything. They had open mics. I didn't say anything, but I did hear a few things that I thought very briefly about. I made it just in time. What up, Myson? You're next, bro. But I decided not to say anything because it was a lot of things that was said. And I just, sometimes you just let things go. But then I wake up this morning and I saw something that I said, I am going to touch on this. Please, y'all, I'm not going to stay here long, but this definitely needs something. Yeah. Woo, Jesus. Buckle up.
So you and your boyfriend are out together and another man approaches you trying to shoot a shot. Now the question is, who's supposed to shut that interaction down? The girl or the boyfriend? I want you to check this video out.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
You look very pretty.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna lie. Is that your brother?
No, that's my boyfriend.
Oh! I just thought you looked cute. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Thank
my
you.
bad. You feel me? I can still get your number?
You're not gonna say nothing?
What do you say? It's you. It's you.
I mean, so you don't care? Like, he's talking to me, you're not gonna say nothing?
I care.
He's asking for my number, you're
say?
not saying anything.
I'm waiting for you to say something.
No, you're the man. You're supposed to say something.
I'm supposed to say something right now?
You're the man.
What if I wasn't?
Honestly, like,
okay,
you can get my number. Don't worry about him.
Okay, here you go. Oh!
Now, if it was me, once she established that I was a boyfriend and he still tried to shoot a shot, I would have had to step in. Because at that point, you disrespected me now. But what do you think? Do you think that she should have just shut everything down, or was it the man's job to step in to kind of shut everything down? Tell me what you think. Hit me in the comments.
Okay, so you saw the video. First of all, I need to say this. They really need to stop doing that kind of stuff because you're going to roll up on the wrong person and take their woman hand and you might be missing a hand after that. Like, seriously, stop playing these games with these people. And some men are very, very, very territorial and they're not wrapped too tight. They may have some loose springs somewhere and you might end up, in some problems.
Myson says she really was supposed to shut it down. She's supposed to speak for herself and gets disrespectful. Then he speaks up. Okay. And see, this is where we're going to have problems in our little domicile. A lot of men do watch and see how you interact first. We want to see your initial thing. We know what we're supposed to do. And here's my thing that I don't like. I don't like, and most men don't like it, they don't tell you because they trying to keep the peace. We don't like you telling us what a man should do. That is not your place. And I very rarely heard any men, I don't hear men running around telling you that's your job, you're a woman. I don't hear them saying that. Not any men that I associate with, not even the ones that you may find less desirable. They don't do that. But we're constantly being told what we should do as men. You don't do that. That's disrespectful. And that's part of the problem. That man she was not in immediate danger. And that's the other thing y'all need to consider. When you say a man should do that, his job is to protect you. She was not in any immediate danger that required him to step up immediately. The man walked up gently and reached out her hand. She did not deny to snatch it away. He just observed. Had there been any negative or harsh reactions, that man would have probably, I believe he would have stepped up and protected a woman he called his girlfriend. I don't like we that old calling people girlfriends. That's my woman. That's my man. I don't like the girlfriend boyfriend thing. So I don't think it was on him. Her first initial reaction should have been, this is my man right here. Then if he says something else, that man now is disrespected. He wasn't disrespected by the man coming to take her hand. He didn't know who he was. He didn't know who he was. For all she know, or all they do know, that could have been her brother, her cousin, or her gay friend. We don't know that. He saw a woman. He was playing a game. We know how they do this little skit thing, but he took her hand. She should have said, this is my man right here. Then when he says something else, which they do in these skits, then that man steps up. That's the way it should go. We shouldn't be automatically thinking this should turn into an escalated conflict when a man just came up and spoke to her. He said some things to her that should have been checked at the first point of impact, not the secondary point of impact. Get it? Don't get it twisted. We will protect you, but we are observant. And we want to see that initial energy to see if we really got somebody that's really down for us. Because your first smiles and everything, we watch that. We be like, okay. Now, we ain't finna leave you. We ain't finna cause problem. But we mentally, we like, okay, she could be flattered by somebody. Got it. That don't mean she going. That don't mean she going to be out here going to Pound Town, getting done up. But, you know, wait, do I need to... just because somebody give her a compliment don't mean the next time. You know, we just got to watch that. Men are different from women. Y'all be wanting us to just jump up and get into fights. That's not what we do. Especially men that got something to lose. I got more to lose than this dude. If I hit him, I'm going to jail. My reputation at my job might be in trouble. You know what I'm saying? My reputation in the community might be in trouble. All because I'm fighting because a dude complimented my woman and asked her out. She could have said, no, this is my man. We need to stop all that. And it shouldn't be escalated. You handle it. Once there's after that, then it becomes a problem. Can we agree on that? Can we? Woohoo! Woohoo! Danger doesn't have to be physical. Protection goes far beyond physical protecting her. I believe that's where the confusion is. That's true. But the protection part wasn't needed there. The man didn't pose any threat as far as protection. Protection means you're shielding, right? He walked up and complimented her. That's going to happen whether I'm there or not. The man was right in that regard. Whether I'm there or not, you're going to be complimented. When there was an issue, I believe he would have stepped up. I didn't see an issue with the young man even coming and complimenting her. If somebody walks up and and I'm sitting there watching, put my stuff, and he compliments you, and then I'm expecting my woman to say, no, thank you, my man is right here. That's what I'm expecting. Now, if she don't and she waiting on me, like he said, what are you doing when I'm not around? That's the thing. I think that was the confusion in this video. Like, what are you doing when I'm not around? I'm not always going to be around. Most of the time I'm not if I'm working. So what are you doing when these dudes approaching you when I'm not around? You ain't got nobody to defer to then. He didn't know who I was. He didn't know what I was doing. So got to watch that. That's just my opinion. So let's move on. Anyway, I saw this second video I'm going to show you, and I thought it was very, very interesting. I was going to cover it last week. But I like to keep these shows at an hour. I really do. But check this video out. Tell me what you think.
This is something musicians have to stop doing. We have to stop having a greater amount of respect for somebody because of a tour they played on, a record they played on, or how many followers they have. You should treat me with the same respect you do somebody that has 2,000 followers. Don't treat me with more respect because I have 50,000. Who cares? You don't know these musicians, and you have more respect for a musician that you don't even know than you do a random person walking on the street. And that's a problem. Do you know who this is, bro? You know who this is? You know what he played on? Who cares? Am I gonna treat him greater than I would this janitor in the corner? No. And I don't want to be treated greater than that either. Because in the end, what does their family say about them? What do their children think about them? What do their husband and wives think about them? The older I get, the more I realize I still love the drums. I'm very passionate about the drums, but I want to be good at other things too. I want to be a great son. I want to be a great brother. I want to be a great husband. I want to be a great father, right? And you got to shed that stuff just as much. Don't just respect somebody because of the tour they played on, because R. Kelly was on a lot of tours. P. Diddy was on a lot of #1 records, and so on and so forth. You get the gist. It's okay to have admiration and love. Like, yo, man, I love what you're doing. Show love, but putting them on this pedestal, stop doing it, because it's bad for you and it's even worse for them. I love y'all, man. Zeke out. Peace.
Okay, I don't know this young man. I don't. He said some good points. And I know a lot of musicians was liking it and everything. They would say, that's right, that's right. A lot of these dudes are arrogant and everything else. I'm going to give you a spin that you guys probably never thought I'd ever say. Whereas I do agree, maybe I should do this a different way. I am. The problem is we're not talking about ordinary respect. Respect as a human being courteous, being kind, being all of that. We're not talking about that. I hope we're not. I mean, I think you should be kind to people. I don't think you should just be mean to people for no reason. I think you should, when people speak to you, you should say thank you. Or when they say, hey man, you're a great bass player, I think you can say thank you. You know, and you don't have to be like that. I think we're conflating respect as a human with respect as somebody that's doing something that they want to do. For example, I have a great admiration for Matt Ramsey, AJ Brown, Ethan Farmer, Justin Raines, all of my peers. Believe it or not, we're peers, but I have the utmost respect for them. And when they come around, I'm like, dang, that's the dude. He killing. I will speak to them in the same way I'm going to speak to an up-and-coming bass player or a bass player that probably no one hardly knows in the circle. I'm gonna speak to them the same way. But my thought process and how I respect them as a musician, it's going to change the more quote-unquote followers they have that I'm gonna cover, the more tours they have done, the albums they have recorded, the gigs they have done, the accolades they have achieved. That comes with a great amount of respect. And this should be that way because these people have earned that respect that we give them. It's the difference between respecting and glazing. I'm going to get there too. The respect that you give to somebody that has done everything that you possibly want to do, it's going to be different than somebody who's doing the same thing you're doing now. Somebody that's really just practicing and doing everything, you can respect them, but it's going to be a different level of respect. And there's nothing wrong with showing that level of respect to people who have earned it in the business of being a musician. As a person, you should treat everybody the same. Everybody the same. So I think we're conflating two ideals here, and it's turning into a powder keg because we have people throwing arrogance and all these different names at people. No. When it comes to 50,000 followers, if you've never achieved 50,000 followers, you don't know how hard that is. You have to work to get 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, 1,000,000 followers. Everybody that has that many followers that did not pay for them, work they tail off to get that. They had to post at the right time. They had to post the right content. They had to make sure that it looked halfway decent or sounded decent. That's why they doing edits and punches. They had to work they tail off to get 50,000 followers. So we can't say, oh, that's nothing. It is something. They achieved something that not a lot of people are doing, especially over here in gospel. I only got like 19.4 on Instagram. As long as I've been doing this. I haven't really been trying, but I know the work it takes. It takes a lot of work. So we cannot downplay that, because what you do is you bring the level of standard of excellence down to you, which means you don't have to work as hard to get to what they've gotten. If I could pull everybody down on my level, because you ain't going up, you pulling down. If I can pull everybody down on my level, now I'm not working to achieve anything. It breeds a level of mindset of laziness, which I can stay all day on that one. All day I can spend on that. So let's not compare mutual respect. Musicians, when you come in a room, you speak to everybody. Unless, of course, y'all beef, and then hopefully y'all can work that out. Joke. But you speak to everybody, talk to people. Don't just walk up to the people that you respect. That's rude. That is rude. You don't just bypass little Johnny because he can only play in one key, and then you run up to a Mike Burrell. I don't like that. You treat everybody the same. Have the same conversation with him. Obviously, it's going to be different, but you get what I'm saying. Don't be rude to these people just because you don't respect them as musicians. But there should be a higher level of respect for the musicians that have done it. They laid the ground for where you're trying to go. You should have a respect, not a reverence, not worship. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that's what's different. She said you're not talking. Sounds like he's speaking about basic respect. Yeah, absolutely. Not respect based on skill and accolades. I believe you're speaking on something he's not speaking about. I'm covering it all. I'm trying to be distinct between the two. And I think what's happened is a lot of people read this or hear this and say, I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm saying we are sometimes conflating mutual respect with professional respect. And it is different. It is different. It is, in my opinion. Let me see what you said. I've been to a lot of professional concert. I'm trying to read through this. It was totally different level of respect. I don't know why it's not reading your whole thing. It's just got half of it up. I agree with you about the respect thing. They earned it. Now, if you ain't all that in a bag of stale chips, no respect, but credit for your... What's up, D? What's up, Line? I think you got the right opinion about it. There's a lot of old school dudes that don't care about social media. I don't know how to manage it, but I played every state. I've been all over Europe, Australia, and sometimes think all I wanted to prove is that I know how to work behind someone. Nick Berg, you are probably one of the dopest guitars. Y'all, this dude is cold. I've been knowing Nick for so many years. I'm not going to call him his name. I'm not going to do that to you, Nick. But Nick is really, really dope. Very humble musician. I agree with what you said. And I don't want it to get misunderstood what I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with him. I am saying, as I stated, it is a difference between the respect. He said just because they got 50,000 followers, so what? It is a thing. It should matter. That's what I'm saying. That part should matter. How many tours they done? It does matter. How many gigs? How many recordings? All that does matter. It does matter in the terms of respect, but mutual human respect is different. They are different. So to say that don't matter, it does matter to a certain degree. We can't just totally summarily dismiss that. We got to be able to understand that there's a level of respect that these guys have earned. But mutual respect, being kind, not being rude, not being cutthroat, that should be mutual across the board. It should never be different. People confuse arrogance with standard. I remember coming up and hearing cats that weren't good say accomplished musicians were arrogant because they gave them a look when they weren't executing music on the level professional. Then I got older and developed and realized those cats weren't arrogant at all. They were just frustrated back then with cats jumping on the instrument and clearly weren't ready to play with the caliber of musicians that were playing or on the caliber of stage it was. I agree with you there. I've seen that. Shoot, I was that at one point in my career. For real. I treat everybody to their value, man. You know what I mean. Thanks, D. My dude, man. I was about to call you your nickname. I love you, Nick, man. You my dude. Pause, by the way. And the church is not like it used to be. Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But again, the message is musicians treat everybody right. Even the ones that you may think not that good. But you still should give respect to those before you or the ones that are where you trying to go. You should always do that. All right, Preacher's Gone Wild. Yes, y'all see royalty behind me. She's gonna have a premiere. She's not gonna be heard, but I got something to say later. So I know you're looking at it. It's like, oh, he got the bass out. He gonna play. No. Now, let's get serious for a second. Of course, you know this country is at war. And a lot of people are nervous now. I've heard people say, man, what's going to happen? What's going to happen in church? And I know people are really nervous right now because they've seen movies, they've seen people do things as far as the man in Texas. They're wondering if it's going to be that or what they call sleeper cells going to be around. So I've prepared something that I think we should probably cover in the next 5 seconds. First thing I want to say is, I think the church should be involved in politics for this reason. I really believe we should make our people aware of what's going on in the world around them, not just in the four walls, because eventually they're going to leave these four walls and be faced with a world that they don't know anything about it. I think the church could do its part in educating people about what's going on in the world. I didn't say be political, like, oh my God, you should vote for this person. No, but make them aware of what's going on in the world around them. I do believe that. And the first thing I would say in church right now, what we need to do, we need to have emergency plans in place. Okay? We need to, if something should happen, what do we do? Do we have medical supplies? Do we have the proper security? Can I just walk in your church and just immediately not see anybody up in there? Your church should have amped up security right now, especially if you go to a big church. Okay, that's the number one thing we need to be concerned about is the emergency plans we have in place. Fire exits need to be readily identified. We need to have more, unfortunately, this is the world, we need to have more things in place that says if a fire happens, this happens. Okay, we shouldn't be in school having fire drills, but we need to have a lock solid plan for that, okay? Because it's about to get wild. It's about to get wild. Number two, we need to have a communication plan. What you mean? They have very good hackers. A lot of people have been trying to hack the United States for years. They've been unsuccessful, and that's great. But what should happen if we lose communication? Because 90% of this country right now communicates through their mobile devices. So what should happen if we lose that? We need to come up with a plan to communicate with people just in case this happens. What that shit looks like, what that looks like. Do we have hotspots in place? Do we have these devices in place that if something should happen, we can still communicate with each other? Because we're going to need each other if this thing escalates or goes a long time, or if it goes like some people say it's going to go. We don't fearmonger. We prepare and we watch things as they occur. Okay, third thing, which is probably most important. What is our financial plan? What is our financial plan? What do you mean? For those of us who work in places where you're going to be needed, whether it be IT, medical, or whatever, you probably going to find work, but everybody may not. So whereas right now we are in war, we're seeing prices go up. Some people seeing gas prices, food prices been going up, but it's going to go up even more. So we need to discuss with each other what our plan will be with our finances too. And I believe the church plays a part in that because we raise a lot of money in church, and a lot of churches do have financial literacy options or fairs or whatever. I think we need to prepare them for that, okay? We are at war. This is something you probably never heard or thought I would even cover. I'm covering real fast too. Number four, we need to check on all our members. We need to do this anyway. But we have members that are less fortunate. We have low-income people. We have people that need assistance. Some people may need you to check in with them mentally because this thing is probably messing with some people, especially if you have family in service or if you think you're going to be called into service, if you're in reserves. Some people need you to reach out to them. I believe the church plays a part in that. We need to call these people, check in on these people, make sure they're okay. We need to get our therapists, people that have therapy degrees. We need to make sure that they are doing their due diligence for us so we can mentally be okay during this time. Because like I said, we've never been in a war with a country as large as Iran in a long time. In a long time. I don't think we've ever been in a war with a country this big. We was never in a war. Japan is not that big. Germany wasn't that big. So this is probably the biggest country. So we need to prepare. And here's the last thing. Number 5, which is probably the most important. Be truthful with people. We've heard lies for so long from our politicians. They need to know somebody's going to give them the truth of what's happening in their world. And believe it or not, the church plays a part in that. We need to be clear of what's going on. No fear-mongering to raise offerings. Give them the truth and give them Bible-based solutions. So these are the things that I thought of that I think a lot of people have been worried about this war. Do I think this is going to be a war that's going to go on a long time? I don't think it's going to be night and day. I don't think it's going to be like the Iraq war. This is a totally different thing. And they thought that they was going to remove a regime and that was just going to be it. No, they have the next person, the next person, then the next person, then the next person. That's the way they operate. They are already still, if what you did was good enough, they wouldn't still be fighting. And if anything, you killed somebody, you did that to somebody that has over 300 million people who thought he was the best thing ever. We look at the people dancing in the streets, and y'all saw those videos, but what you're not seeing is the other videos of people who really, really were upset that they did that. So that's something you got to think about. And I don't think that they're just going to lay down and say, okay, you can do whatever you want over here. No, that's not going to happen. Not with no. So I think these things, the church, we are community, everybody. That's what church is, a congregation. It's a church. We should look out for each other. We should do these things and make sure that whereas I don't have fear, I don't fear this stuff. Life is going to life. But I think we should be prepared. And that's one of the reasons. I mean, my wife and I, we have discussions. She always asks me, so what's the plan? And really, to be honest with you, I really had to think about that even after I hung up the phone. So I'm not, some people say, let's get on a flight and go somewhere else. I wouldn't get on a plane and go overseas right now if you paid me, to be honest with you. But I think there are steps you can do here to prepare yourself. We ain't at the point where I say get underground and whatever. Nah, we're way over here. I don't think that's going to happen. But they can affect our economy. They can affect our IT infrastructure if we should be hacked. We don't have the best people in place right now. We don't. So those are the things that could affect us. So let's just be prepared and let's stick together. I love you guys. That's why I want to cover that. But anyway, let's get back to music.
Come on, it feels like church in here right now. Come on. Sing it up. 'Cause I want Why the top? I can't hear you. How we say? I wanna see you. Hey. Da 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 da. Come on, come on, come on. To see you, I say, to see you. Shining, shining, say. Hold it out and say. As we sing harmony.
All right. First of all, you do auditions at the church. I was about to say I've never seen it. Yeah, you do. We've had people come in and we've heard them play. And I did the audition when I tried out for Ricky Dillard. I didn't get a call. Nobody said, "Oh, Dee, come play this gig." No, I actually tried out for that gig, y'all. I really did. They had a choir rehearsal. All the choir went home. The band director called me up. I plugged in my bass. I had to play some songs from New G, and I had to play shout music or whatever. He heard me, and they called me for the gig, I think maybe 2 weeks later. And that's how that started for me, an audition. There have been times where a lot of musicians go to churches or whatever, and they do auditions, and they say, "Okay, let me hear you." And when you walk in, you hear somebody doing that, and that's the bass player. That can be very, very, very intimidating. But let me tell you this right off rip. He was overplaying. I wouldn't have been nervous about that. He was overplaying. He literally did a chop all the whole thing. He overplayed. So I wouldn't have been nervous about that. I'm like, because if this is what they doing over here, I don't know if I got the brain space to try to play this every week. I probably could, but why would I do that? So if you are a musician, you walk into a church, and that's the dude that's listening to you do your audition. If he's playing the instrument that you play, or you know he plays that instrument very well, never be intimidated. Why? Because you're going to present to them you. That's the way he approached it. You have to show them the way you are approaching it. And you can never be intimidated, because your intimidation may cause you to lose out on an opportunity. They may not even be looking for somebody that plays like that. They may be looking for you. They may be looking for somebody that's just going to come in and play the song, because that's open the eyes. So you can just play 1, 7, or 5. I want to feel, or whatever. However you want to go, 4 or 2. I'm going to sub it. That's just me. But still, play it the way you play it. Don't try to be worried about that. Having said that, when I say overplay, bass players, I know y'all be ripping up Reggie, but he has some great points. And I'm going to give you one that's going to bless you. Okay, bass players? Now, contrary to popular belief, I don't like playing high. I don't like going up here. And the reason why is because the way I learned, anything past this point here, where you see the 2 dots for bass players, would be B or B flat or A, if you tune that way. Where you see these 2 dots at the top, anything to the right of that, that's the wow area. Everything past this point right here is the wow area. This is the wow area. Everything you hear up here, you're going to hear oohs and ahs. You're going to ooh, ooh, because you up here. Everything to the left of that is the work area. You work. Bass players play bass. Our job is to lay foundation, to play bass. If you can't hear bass, something is wrong. We live here. This is where we live. When you way up here, you're not playing bass. You teeter into guitar land. Now, I understand. You say, well, Derek, you be wigging out on Sundays, because I understand errors. Now, today, that's what's designed for church. You know, they want bass players to go up there. So I'm going to do what they need. But if I have my way, I'm going to be here. This is where I'm going to be. You hear me do something every now and then, but most of the time, I'm right up in the work area. This is the work area here. It's the wow area. I think you need to be able to do both. But really, to be honest with you, I would want to live here. I want to live here. I want to live here. And that's the best thing I can tell you as bass players. Don't don't try to be up here so much, unless they call for it, do what they ask. But if I can help you, live here. Because when you hit that low, the room just shakes. When you playing low, it just feels better. And it's something I had to learn. When you playing up here, it feels better. But when you way up here, we lose that oomph. And I think that's where the bass should be. So whereas dude in the video was killing, he was killing. I mean, it was nice. I actually went and learned it. It was nice, but I would love for us to just stay where we belong. We belong here. We should be down there. The work area, that's where it should be. Okay, right? Because we already have a guitar. We do. Now, like I said, I love to double guitars now. Me and Mikhail, we do some stuff and I double them and they be like, that's dope, that's dope. But to be honest, I'm just being honest with you. Like when I was very sick Saturday, by the way. I'm just going to tell y'all, I was sick. I was sick Friday night when I got back. Friday I was sick and Saturday I was sick. I was sick. And my wife was gone. She left the house. And I was literally laying in bed, but I spent the time where I wasn't sleeping watching a lot of y'all. I'd be scouring Instagram. I love y'all. And I'll be watching a lot of these dudes play R&B, be playing pop. I spent so much time watching them for two reasons. For watching their arrangements and how they go about playing in R&B. People say you shouldn't be too busy. I want to see how busy they are in R&B. They be going out there. But one thing I noticed, the bass players they down there. They not up here like we are in gospel. So, yeah, if you want to play those gigs like that, you need that B and E and A strings are your friends. Those are your friends. You know what I'm saying? Don't be living down on those thin strings. My wife don't even like to play on the G string pause. She don't. She stay on the D string pause the whole time. Y'all be tripping. Man, try. Okay, bass players. Share this with your bass player friends. Let's do a challenge. The first song in praise and worship this Sunday, this is the challenge. Share this. I'm going to do it myself. Play only B, E, and A strings. Play only those strings. Unless the song calls, if it's the line in the song, play the song. But as much as you can, stay on a B, E, and A string. No octaves, none of that. Just play B, E, and A. That's it. For the first praise and worship song, unless it's required. That's the challenge. I'm going to go live Sunday. I'm going to go live, and I'm going to see if I can do my old challenge. Because I got ADHD. Y'all know I'm probably going to wake up. My wife probably like, he ain't going to do it. He ain't going to do it. He ain't going to do it. But that's the challenge. Share this with your friend. The challenge is bass players in church Sunday, play only B, E, and A string for the first song. And then post it. Post a clip of it or whatever. Let's see who can do it. Let's see who can do this challenge. That's the challenge. The BEA challenge. Share it with your friends. The BEA challenge. You can only play if you got a 5 string. If you 4 string, you can only play E and A. You can only play E and A. You got to play the bass notes. You can't do octaves. You can't do none of the lines unless it's in the song. Play the song. But after that lick in the song, you got to go E and A. The whole song. You got to move up. You can't use D, you can't use G. You got to go all the way, just E and A. Let me see if we can do that. He said, I know that's right. I really don't think you can do this. Oh, I think I can. I'm going to go live or I'm going to tape it. The first song. Ooh, that's going to be good. This is going to be good. I'm going to have fun with this one. I'm going to have fun. Because, see, the reason why I don't like musicians that overplay, you run into problems when you overplay, especially as drummers. Because what would happen if you tried to overplay, especially if you ain't got the chops, and this happens? Don't be like this guy. First of all, let me just leave it with this. Don't try to do chops live that you didn't master in practice, assuming that you do practice. Don't try to do it because you always going to embarrass yourself. You're going to embarrass yourself. I believe rehearsals, you can possibly do that, you know, especially in band rehearsal. I think when the choir and everybody starts to come in, if that's the way your structure is, then you kind of, you know, mellow it out, let it breathe. But like in band rehearsal, kind of, you know, you can throw out some stuff, you know, just see some stuff you working on, but never live. That was bad. I need his gig. I can do it. I know that's right. That was bad. That was bad, man. I'm never gonna do that. But I saw something that really, really kind of made me feel away. My wife was like, "What?" I kind of try to explain some of my show things with her. She'd be looking at me like I'm crazy. She be like, "Wait, hold up." I'm like, "Nah, babe. I'm definitely gonna cover this. Y'all check out what I'm about to post. This is wild." He says, musicians start the song. Exhortation has taken place. The atmosphere is set. He said that. This is what he's saying. The worship leader has nodded 4 times after giving 3 verbal song lyric cues. And then the gap happens. Dead space kills momentum. Dead space can be a distraction for worshipers. Dead space makes it weird. Pause. Is that a pause? Start the song. Here's my issue, y'all. I'm going to leave this up because some of us, you know, we can't read small. Here's my issue with this. Whereas I agree with the sentiment, things can happen. We live in a church setting now where everything is controlled by a computer. We can hit the space bar, nothing happens. Drummer may drop a stick or whatever. So just because it's a dead space don't mean it's on us. That's the most likely reason it's dead space. Number 2, and you're not going to like it, but I'm going to say it. What's up? What up, Rich? What up, man? So a lot of y'all be exhortation stuff that we be confusing to the point that we don't even know what you're talking about. Y'all would literally get up there and be calling them zaddy and daddy and all that kind of junk. So we literally be trying to be recovering from that. Come on, let's love on him. Let's get intimate with him. How can you get intimate? Please stop saying that. I don't, because my mind is weird. I'll be like, super pause. You be like, get intimate. I'm like, what are we talking about here? You know, so for me, that exhortation be leaving me a little bit befuddled. So when you say you giving us cues, we don't know because you got to know the song. Because if we saying the name of Jesus lifted high and you be like, yeah, he's a good God, that ain't a cue for us. We don't know what you're talking about. We're looking at the list. Is that happening? Now, I thank God this doesn't really happen at Powerhouse, but I've seen this happen so many times. Because tell me, how would you start the track after this?
I'm just getting this image of the throne room of God, that the elders are castrating themselves in front of the Lord. It is just a beautiful, beautiful picture.
I'm all ears. Tell me, how would you start the track after that? This man just got up in front of the whole church, said the elders are castrating themselves in front of in front of the Lord. I'm waiting. Because this is what happens. So you saying start the song, and I agree, but we faced with some people that say it's some wild stuff. You know, I don't want to, the visual of castrating, what is happening? No, we're not doing that. So no, stop it. No, just tell us, give us the nod. We go now. If they something and you nod it, then it may be something happening technically. I wish we could go back to the church where we just started up. No tracks. Well, maybe a drum loop every now and then, but I like it when we just played music. That's just me. I'm just showing my age. But now we in the technical age, we literally got band in the box right now. And so y'all be playing with stems and Christmas trees flying out of the computer. So that takes time. We got to get Rudolph ready, and Santa Claus ain't put on his belt. So give us a minute, all right? Give me a minute. Yeah, lay and castrate. But churches, Lonnie says something I agree. Church is not the same. It's not. Churches, what I grew up is nowhere remotely close to what I'm seeing now. What I'm seeing now in church is way different. I don't think what I've seen recently even compares to what I'm about to show you.
The Rochette. This white linen garment is a symbol of the priesthood. Aaron's ephod is found.
So we literally got preachers up there with their clerical garments. I don't know if y'all know about church, and that's fine. I'm going to tell you. If you walk in the church and you see the pastors and elders in their clerical garments, that means it's sacred. That's the epitome of sacred. On first Sundays at Powerhouse, we in suits when we see that. You do not wear jeans first Sunday at Powerhouse because you going to see them in their clerical garments. We need to be in our best suits. That's just the way it is. That's the culture. I think that's okay. A dog being dressed, walking in church was something I never thought I'd ever see. I think you can't make it up. I didn't pay her. I didn't pay her to do that. I didn't pay her. That happened on her own. You would like to kick the dog? You good, Sam? You good? You need a hug? You know, I mean, some people over here might want to give you a hug, bro. And that's Kojic. And that's crazy because I grew up Kojic, and dogs in church would never be. I can't imagine me putting a bow tie and a tuxedo on my dog. I have a mountain cur. You have to look that up. A mountain cur. That's not a small dog. He about right here. If he was he did walk in here before. That dog would literally scare half the people in the church. Because if this is what we're gonna be doing, let's bring them all. Pit bulls. You know what I'm saying? What's those big dogs? Not the canes. Cane Corsos, but it's another one. It's another one. It looks like a terrier, but a schnauzer, whatever them dogs are. They really, really big. My friend has one, and his name is Bentley. The biggest dog I ever seen. If this is a culture, hey, but you know the sad part about it, yo? You know, you ready for it? Those dogs probably have church better than all of us. Because there ain't going to be no junk with them. Ain't going to be no theatrics. It's going to be a lot of sniffing, a lot of pumping, a lot of all of that, you know, but you're going to understand it. I'm pretty sure I can understand. No offense. I'm going to get to this live. I probably would understand a room full of dogs in the church than I can understand some of this stuff we do up in church now. I'm just being honest. Some of the foolishness that we do, we see in church, people coming down in cranes and cars and roller coasters and stuff like that. I probably would understand a room full of dogs than I would that. I'm just being a Great Dane. That's what it is. Good. No, you ain't offend nobody. You my dude. We good over here. You good over here. Saint Bernard. Yeah, Saint Bernard. Man, listen, if you ain't never seen a Saint Bernard before in person, you better be glad, because that is not a small dog. A Saint Bernard, you got to remember, these dogs were rescue dogs. Those dogs were trained to drag humans to safety. You can like this status or like right now, throw some likes up if you've ever seen a Saint Bernard in person, because you can testify to the size of those dogs. Those are not small dogs at all. They will scare you. You know how the Bible, when the angel comes before the people, you say, fear not. That's the Saint Bernard. That's the Saint Bernard. Those dogs are huge. They're not to be played with. But those dogs are made to rescue. If we're going to have a dog church, I would probably join, to be honest with you. Since we there, I want you guys to check this out.
Give God praise and we honor God for who He is. Amen. Hallelujah. Can you open your eyes?
Okay, so you wonder what this is. Question real fast. Can a bishop be a true bishop if his home church is a storefront? Can a bishop be a true bishop if his home church is a storefront? That's the question. That's the question. This is a very good question, I think. Real quick, I'll wait for your question. It's a little delay on my end, so when I'm seeing your comments. Can a bishop be a true bishop if he only has a storefront? Yes or no? And then I'm going to give my answer. It was funny because he did his whole little processional. He took literally 5 steps. 5 steps. Can he afford to be? Oh, you real Kojic right there. He said depends on the affiliation. Okay. This is going differently than I thought it would go. Cinnamon says, why not? She said, why the not? Talking about a bishop, we still gonna use those words. I love you, Sid. In most cases, I say no. But if that's what the Lord called him to be, let it be. The criteria is for a bishop. Husband or one wife, all those good things, has a good temperament, honorable, has a good standing, can handle his home, can handle his family. I didn't know that having a big church fit any of that. And I've been seeing a lot of you go at bishops because they have storefront churches. And then you say you got to read your Bible when you show that you haven't studied yours. Because if you studied your Bible, you would know, and no shots, just educating. You would know that wasn't a criteria to be an elder, which was used interchangeably with bishop, by the way. You only needed those criteria. Husband or one wife, can manage your home, has good temperament. All these good things that the Bible speaks of. And we've made it about church size. So we only respect those leaders who have big churches. Like somebody said, why, if God placed him to be there, why does it matter? And I answer, like somebody said, it depends on affiliation. Some affiliations, you do have to have a large membership to be a bishop because that's what they say in their bylaws. And you got to understand these bylaws before you join said organization. Biblically, which is pretty much only thing I care about at this point in my life, biblically, it didn't matter how many members. They didn't have members. They were just notable men, elder men in the community. That's all it was. They had a good reputation, and people decided that they wanted them to be bishops or elders. People decided that. They didn't come and say, well, they said if you desired to do it, yeah, there was a criteria. But the thing was, the people chose. The people who spoke up for you said, no, we can vouch for this person. We can submit to their leadership, their guidance. We can follow this person. He's admirable. And that's all it really was. And I think over time, when we became more, quote unquote, organized, then this hierarchy thing started. And now we're at the point where we're just excoriating people who are bishops and only have maybe 5 members. Because if you are head of this said congregation and you are elder, technically speaking, what else is there in the organization? That's where it counts. So the thing is, learn the organization before you join it. That's all it is. Because if you in Kojic, I don't know if there are any storefront bishops in Kojic. I don't know. I think every bishop I followed, the way it was set up when I was coming up, you had a state bishop. That was it. State bishop, that was it. And you had different state bishops. And I'm thinking they had maybe a regional bishop. I'm not sure, but I know you had a state bishop. It wasn't no bishops under them. Everybody else was elders and ministers. That was it. You didn't have any of its superintendents, but that was more so the business part of it. But for the most part, you only had a bishop. When I was coming up, it was Bishop Freeman. That was it. Then Bishop B.A. Sanders, that was it. Then you have Bishop Blakely. Then you have Bishop Bobby Warren. Those are the other jurisdictions. Now, every state had different jurisdictions or whatever, but in Kojic, like in Indiana, I think it was 4. It was Indiana first, Indiana second, third, fourth. I was in Indiana second. My aunt was over Minister Music Indiana first. So I know Kojic. So I'm giving you a Kojic lesson. But they didn't have all these bishops. Now you got bishop. But they all answer to one bishop who answered to this bishop, then this bishop, then this bishop. It's like never ending. So I kind of follow Kojic where it was state bishop, then everybody else under him, then another jurisdiction. I kind of like that. No offense. I kind of did like that. I kind of like that. So I'm not against that. I'm not against that. Now I'm about to get off of here because I want to eat and enjoy the rest of even my life, my life and my wife. Check this out, y'all.
So I'm sitting here, it's Sunday, and I'm at home, I'm in town, right? And I'm excited to be home, and I'm a little sad because I just realized there ain't no more gospel musicals. Why y'all not doing gospel musicals on Sunday evenings anymore? Like, ain't no churches, nowhere, ain't no choirs, no groups doing no gospel extravaganzas no more. Like, I want something to do tonight, I want to step outside and walk for a minute and go hear some singing. What happened to the musicals? Why don't y'all do church musicals? Why don't y'all do Sunday evening musicals no more? So on with y'all. I'm sad. My heart is broken.
You about to start crying? I remember a few years ago, I lived in Milwaukee for 10 years, roughly 10 years. And I love Milwaukee. I love Milwaukee. That would be my second home if I were in Indiana right now. I love Milwaukee. I do. One of the things that I loved about Milwaukee when I first got there, the very first time I went to Milwaukee and played, it was on a Christmas night. My friend Corn drove down to get me. And that was crazy. I love that man. Pause. That's my dude. His name's Corn Evans. That dude's my dude. He came to Indiana. They picked me up and we went back to Wisconsin, right? The day I got there, I played for an artist. And there was another musical after that. Then it was another midnight musical where it was really, really fun. And then after that, yeah, I said fun. After that, we had dinner together. We went to this place, I forgot the restaurant, and we all ate and hung out. I thought that was the greatest thing. And then the next week, it was another musical. Then the next week, it was another musical. The next week, it was another musical. I loved it. I thought it was the greatest thing in the world. I love church. I love musicals. I do. I love gospel musicals. I miss those days where every weekend, now in Chicago, it's always something going on. But it's not like it used to be. It used to be a time when musicals happened every weekend. You can music. Like now, it's still some. Chicago's a big city. But it just seemed like the secular world does more. I see more ads and stuff for the secular world than I do in church right now. And that kind of makes me sad, like Kirk Franklin, because like him, I grew up in an era where you had musicals all the time. So what happened? What happened? Why we don't do them? I think one reason why we don't do these musicals is because the cost. Because believe it or not, when I was coming up, musicians weren't paid like that. They weren't. When I was coming up, that was the era of the $50, $20 or whatever, or the era of the free musician. We just love to play. It was a lot of musicals I played, and I just love to play. So I think paying for musicians became the thing. You got to pay for sound. You got to pay for the church. I think the cost over here is too much for a lot of people. So that's one reason why I think we don't do them. And we can't depend on the offering because like then, You give the same. Can you imagine the offerings are still the same in 2026 as it was in the 90s? It's the same. The only difference is the overhead is higher. That's the difference. Y'all jingle those or come and tap like you gave Cash App to your phone. I think that's the worst thing. No offense, but I think sometimes it's the worst thing because y'all ain't gave nothing. You just come and tap your phone and lie up in church. You're lying in church. You tap your phone on an offering basket like you gave something, but nah, and you got to pay singers now. Yep. What's up? What's up, Ernest? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you said money is one. Got a host, got to pay the host. I mean, so much money. I think if you pay musicians, honestly, a fair wage, you're paying them. It's a few thousand just to start. You're dang near doing a recording. I'm certainly not saying we shouldn't be paid. I'm saying the reason why these musicals are not happening. I'm not trying to take money out your pocket, musicians. I'm certainly not. But I'm just saying this is the reason, one of the reasons why these musicals die is because, or are dying, in my opinion, is because it's too much. It's too much. So we could start with the money. I really believe that that's it. The biggest thing. Number two, and I'm about to get off of here, believe it or not. Number two, used to be a time when you had musicals and you have 4 or 5 choirs on there, you could expect something different. Now it's the same, in my opinion. Everybody's doing the same. I think once we let the machine dictate what's good music for us, we changed the way we do stuff. I can name, you had New G, you had the Tommies, you had Alonda Draper, you had Donald Lawrence, you had the Voices of Binghamton, you had Mississippi Mass Choir, you had all these choirs. I just named like 5, 6 of them, and they all sound different. Now, no matter what, I feel like when I go and I hear it's the same thing. It's usually the same thing. And I hate that the machine has done that to us, where they said this is what's good for you. And now everybody's doing this. No offense, and I love y'all to death, but I don't go to the praise and worship extravaganzas. I don't. I don't want to lift my arms. They get tired. I don't want to, for 2 hours, have my arms lifted. What are we at, Bally's? We at Planet Fitness? No, I want to go to a service that's high energy, that's got music. The musicians have prepared and rehearsed, and they going. I want what I miss. What has happened, y'all? Y'all supposed to be 2.0. What is going on? What now? We resorted back to whatever this is. Going to musicals, you be like, oh yeah, I need to see this. Man, it's like, whatever. It's not the same. Y'all don't present the same. Y'all, we used to get amped up for these musicals. We used to rehearse because we knew, we was like, no, we finna go over here. And to be honest with you, it was an element of competition. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not saying it was good. I'm saying it existed. But we used to bring our best. That musical they had when that was at Acme a little while ago. I don't know what it was. I think it was a choir fest, Head Skywalker. That was okay. But see, that was okay, but that's what I grew up to. That's what our musicals used to be like. Y'all get amped up for choir fest that we used to do on a weekly basis. That's what I'm talking about. That used to be us, where groups. I remember one AIM where it was Anthony Brown, it was Mike Brown, and I forgot this name of the group, Focus. And all them groups, that was a musical, and that was at AIM. But I was like really, really gassed about that musical because it reminded me of what I grew up to. I'm getting there. I'm getting there, Sam. This is the third reason. Everybody can't do a bump. We can't shout all night. We tired. I'm 50 years old. I ain't finna be jumping around, running around, and bouncing to every artist. You got 6 artists, and every last one of them want to shout at 162. I'm not gonna do it. I don't have that kind of energy. Even if I was playing, I'm not doing it. I can't see myself playing 162 beats per minute like that. No. And when we come to a musical, we want to hear music. We want to hear your artistry. We want to hear you create. We want to hear something different, something new. Back when I was coming up, they used to do songs that they was getting ready to record to test them out on us. They was literally performing songs we've never heard before. Literally, my family did it, our choir did it, my brother did it. My brother was dope at it. We used to sing songs we recorded to our musicals. That's what I grew up to. Now everybody like, come on, put your heads together. Oh my God, if I hear one more bump, I swear to God, y'all, 2, 3 up, 5 me to death. I don't want to hear it. I want to hear music. I want artistry. And then you sit back and wonder why you're not getting signed to these. They don't want that. They already got it. We covering it next week, by the way. These labels don't want that. They don't want all of that. The only reason why we do it on our records is because that's what's expected of us as artists. Because we had some ringers do it. There will not be another Lillian Lloyd. So stop trying. Lillian Lloyd could take a song with just a click track and then go. She has the it factor. That's her thing. We're going to talk about that next week too. So stop trying to reinvent the wheel and start trying to be you at the musicals. That's what we did. That's what we developed into artists. We use those moments to develop. And without that now, I don't know what I'm seeing. And I really thank you to the ones that's still trying to do it. A friend of mine, she posts every time she goes somewhere, and I'll try to watch it. Everywhere she goes to Chicago, she goes live. She posts, and I literally go and watch those lives because she posts when they have those musicals, and I really appreciate that. And I wish, that happened more, but it's not like it used to be, y'all. It's not. What up, Dee Hearne? Just came out, bro. You was killing last night. I saw your message. I didn't know, Maurice, what you was asking. Hit me up again, because I want to be clear. I was like, huh? I didn't know what you was saying. Take a picture. Just send it to my inbox again. Now that I'm old enough to experience musicals as an adult, there aren't enough around. I feel less exposed to musicians in my area. Tampa. Man, I love Tampa. It was so dope when I was down there. And I have to sit on TikTok for hours to find new musicians, and it's only clips. Yeah, when I was coming up, the musicians in the area, you saw them. We knew them. I knew Leonard. There was a bass player named Leonard. I knew him. I knew Frank. I knew Jeff Hurt. I knew JR. See, these are bass players you've never heard of, but they was dope. Dope bass players. Dope bass players. You knew them because they was in musicals. We had musicals that these people showed up. Like all the time. And they was dope. Now, it's not the same, y'all. Everybody want to say, oh, lift your hands to heaven. God will bless humanity. Singing that at the Trump rally. I don't want to hear it. I want to hear some real gospel music. I want to hear, look, I want to hear what I opened the show with. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. I wish I could drag that song over here so you can see what I'm talking about. Man, that's what I want to hear. And the last reason why I don't think musicals happen like they should, is that stuff like this. She says, Kiera Sheard really got up there and did a praise break for her entire performance time and gave us 2 song snippets. Talk about mad. It's hard enough to get these people to come out for free. And then we charge tickets and we try to shout them to death. It's not going to happen. I went and saw a couple of R&B artists that sang and sang and sang and sang and sang and did very little talking, and I was way more satisfied than I would. I'm going to leave with this. What's up, Russ? I went and saw Ty Tribbett in live twice. early when they was the GA days, right? They came to Milwaukee and they did this thing called Summerfest. Now, those of you who don't know anything about Milwaukee, Summerfest is their they biggest fest of the year. They literally have a place called Summerfest Grounds where it's like a mile plus of food, but they got like 7, 8, 9, 10 stages. I mean, real artists go to this thing. Like, not no little locals had their moments. They do open it up for the locals, but it be real artists, blues artists, R&B, pop. It's like super huge. I'm gonna take the wife this year to Summerfest, right? Ty Tribbett, they have a gospel stage. James Fortune's done it. Ty Tribbett has done it. I did it with Jay Moss before, pause. I mean, it's dope. Ty Tribbett got up there, y'all, sang an opening medley, and then talked for like an hour. And literally at Summerfest, where I'm sure he got paid good money, this dude literally got up there and talked and did an altar call at Summerfest. You can't make this shift up. You can't make it up. I didn't pay him. You can't make it up. He did an altar call at a Summerfest. And then he did some more songs, but by then people was like, they were over it. We do too much talking in our musicals. You can't exhort the whole time. Get up there and sing. 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 That's what we want to see. We are there to hear you sing. We not there for all that extra stuff. And she said he did the same thing. Man, sing. We don't need you to preach. I do love the fact that at church we can shift, but we got to be able to read the room, y'all. I don't think people they don't pay much for gospel tickets. They don't, unless you're Fred or Kirk and them. Most you probably get is 50, maybe 75, here and there. But most of the time, it's going to be around the 25, 35 range. And even then, I don't care if they paid $5. They did not pay you to hear preaching. They get that on Sunday in multiple ways. Multiple ways. They're not there for that. Now, I'm not sure if he still does it. I haven't seen him live since GA. You know what? I did see him live since GA. He did. Oh, man. Nah, not even going to talk about that. Leave that alone. Talk about do it with the wife. I'm not even going to talk about that right now. Nope. Only thing, I think when you have musicals, you got to have structure. I would suggest having maybe, if you're a choir person, try to do your homework. Find choirs that do totally different things. Get one that do traditional music. Get one that does contemporary music. Get one that may bump you, pause. And then get one that may do contemporary songs, grooves and stuff like that. Don't get the same thing, right? Then get you a couple of smaller groups. If that's what you want to do, get some smaller groups. And then keep that going. And then everybody just do original songs or do songs that medleys. We used to practice medleys, do arrangements. Musicians practice. I know that's hard for some of us, but practice. Have a good rehearsal. Come up with some nice arrangements. Make it a thing. And then people will come to your thing. Don't do the same thing over and over again. And one thing y'all don't do that I think we should be doing, feed the folk. Or at least have Harold show up. Have one of these people show up and serve food. I promise you, food will get these people to show up. We love to eat. In some ways, more than one. Some of these people, we ain't going to talk about the extracurricular activities on this show. No, we won't do it.
They get confused. Bewildered.
We ain't doing none of that. We ain't doing none of that. Nah. But seriously, I think these things, I want to see the musicals come back. I remember having Good Friday musicals, midnight musicals, or day musicals. Midnight musicals, some musicals happen during the day. Do that. I remember Martin Luther King musicals. They used to have musicals and concerts on Martin Luther King Day. Do stuff like that. Have Sundays, man, like every third Sunday have a musical or something like that. I want to see these musicals come back. Why? Because I really believe y'all are more talented than we were. I do believe that. I do believe this generation of musicians and singers are better skill-wise than we were. And it should be that way. It should be that way. Y'all supposed to be better than us. The original should never be better than the new model. Never. But I want to see more of that. I want to see y'all come out and do this stuff. And here's the thing. People like myself, my wife, and all these other people, we will be here to help you. We will help you. But you got to listen. But we will help you. I want to see us thrive. I want to see us do better. I want to see us go places where we never dreamed. And y'all, the people that's going to go, it's your turn now. But you got to do better than us. Because where you lack is professionalism, you lack focus, and you lack accountability. These are things you need to work on to build this stuff up. I gave you skill. I admit that. But that accountability, that professionalism, that focus, y'all need to get that up. Y'all need to get that up. All right? I love you. I'm gonna be back Monday. AIM 2006. You met me there? I'm not a fan of sheds. Maurice, I'm not a fan of sheds. I've only been to one shed, and that's only because I'm Ryan Midds was having one and I wanted to support him. That's the only shed I've ever been to in my life. I don't know why I'm not a fan of sheds. That being on time. Yeah, absolutely. We can do a whole live on that. But I want these musicals to come back, y'all. If they hype, I'll get this old body of mine up and go. Pause. I will. If they hype. Oh, we're gonna talk about that next week. We're gonna talk about that next week. Nope, not gonna do it. I love you. I'm gonna go eat and enjoy the rest of my evening. I hope you do too. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Please share this stuff with your friends. I might start making clips of this stuff to better get this stuff out for you guys. But I enjoy doing these shows for you, and hopefully you are enjoying watching it and learning something, and let's grow together. I do love you. You guys take care. In this stream.